What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and some very important factors that could definitely affect the share price going forward. I'm also going to talk about the overall stock market and what on earth is going on with the Fed, as we are seeing the US Treasury yield rise, and that could definitely affect it. I'm also going to talk about the latest pieces of news that are affecting Tesla, and also what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend, Elon Musk, has been tweeting. But as we do have some updates that could definitely affect Tesla's share price. Now, before I talk about the overall stock market and what's going on with the SPY and the Nasdaq and Tesla, before I do any technical analysis, I do have to mention some very important things first. First off, I'm not a financial planner, guys. This is all for educational purposes only. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you will not only qualify for up to 5 free stocks. Once again, that's free money, guys. Up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500. But you're also going to qualify for free real-time level 2 data for US stocks with $0 in trading commission. So please check out the link down below. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So this is Tesla's share price, guys. We had a crazy day today. I'm going to show you guys the full volatility based off the 1-minute candles. And you guys can see that there was a little bit of divergence right here based off the moving averages. Now, we did see quite a bit of volatility. In fact, it was crazy, guys. And we ended up gaining a support at around $851. Then after that, we did kind of bounce off it quite a bit, but we did end up closing in the red, down 1.47%. Now, we did end up touching 933.37, which is a pretty good sign. RSI did start going up a little bit, but overall, guys, we are in the red. So I do want to talk about what's going on with the market first, because that is dictating the price of Tesla. Because look at this right here, right? If you look at Tesla, guys, this thing was like trading kind of sideways and it dipped quite a bit. Then all of a sudden we have that reversal and it started running up, right? Well, look at the S&P 500. We have a very similar price movement, right? This thing was dipping quite a bit, then all of a sudden it ended up running up and it actually closed in the green today, which is a pretty good sign. Now, it was up 0.42%. It closed at $439. But if you look at the Nasdaq, guys, something very similar happened. Very similar price movement, a run up as well, closing at 0.63% in the green at 33K. And at the end of the day, guys, it's looking a little bit better than before, but I do want to talk about what I think is going to play out going forward, because we do have some very important dates to be discussing. Now, look at this right here, guys. I did map out the dates a couple of days ago, right? We have Monday, which was today. I did see a bit of a sideways day, maybe a little bit in the red, and that is kind of what happened to Tesla. We were pretty sideways, only down 1.47%. But at the end of the day, guys, I did predict that tomorrow is probably going to be a little bit more in the red, and I do think it's more probable we're going to see a little bit more red. Now, I'm going to talk about why I think that, and I could be totally wrong, guys. So don't necessarily look at me as a sorcerer that knows the future. I could be totally wrong when I say this, but I do think it's more probable we're going to see some red. And here's the reason why, okay? Right now, guys, Tesla's in a pretty good position. Okay, it's not in the worst of positions, but there's a lot of sentiment out there that this thing is going to crash, it's going to drop, it's going to drop. Like, so many people are saying that, so many people are loading up on puts right now. And I want to talk about something very important involving that. Now, look at the fear and greed index. Currently, it's at 41 right now, a little bit on the fearful side. Now, this in turn is kind of leading to, how should I say, uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market because of the Fed meeting that's coming out. Remember, guys, the Fed is going to be having this big meeting and they're going to be discussing their new policy changes. Now, we do know something very important that was listed right here. We know that the Treasury yield of the US is already rising, guys, and that's right. It's right before the Fed meeting. What does this basically mean in English? This basically represents, how should I say, the not necessarily the cost to borrow money, but kind of like the growth in our economy. You can kind of look at it that way. So if this rises as a fast rate, it's much more likely that the Fed is going to take action to really slow down this growth, because we don't want our economy just growing way too fast, right? We want a healthy economy. So you don't want inflation and other things like that at too high rates. The Fed is going to have to take very important action. So what's basically has been going on is the yield on the benchmark 10-year yield treasury note rose 2.2 basis points. That's once again another key indicator that we're going to see interest rates going up relatively soon. So what I think is going to play out, guys, is that is exactly what Goldman Sachs has been anticipating, as shown in this article right here. Many people are saying that, look, there are FUD articles coming out saying that the market is going to tank, it's going to crash like crazy. I don't necessarily know if we could truly say that, right? The market's probably going to take a big hit right now, but we could see a bit of a reversal for the end of this week still. But just for tomorrow in particular, which is Tuesday, I think it's more probable we're going to see some red. And that's because I think the Fed is going to announce something very dire, and that is how they're going to be raising rates, to what extent, and how many times for the year, what the plan is. And because of this new hawkish sentiment, right, this is probably going to cause a lot of drops for the market. Now, one thing that can maybe stop it from dropping too hard would be the fact that we have earnings coming out on Tuesday, but I don't necessarily think that that's going to be enough if the Fed really announces something big. So when it comes to this day, and let me switch to right here first. When it comes to tomorrow, guys, the 25th of January, it really depends on what the Fed announces, but I think it's more probable it's going to cause the market to be in the red because they are a lot more hawkish, and they are going to most likely announce to what degree they're going to be raising rates, because we're getting closer, guys. We're getting very close to the March, which is the expected date in which they're going to be doing it. So that could cause Tesla to dip quite a bit. Now, the important thing to note, guys, is, and this is the way I want to describe this chart, very key support right now is the $851 range. That is really holding us off really well, and that should hold for tomorrow going forward. That's what I think is going to play out. And we do have resistance at 1,000. I know that's pretty obvious, but that's a very key level of resistance. So we're probably going to stay within this range for the next, I don't know, couple of days, leading us up until the earnings. And depending on what the earnings report comes and ends up like, reporting, that could really, really cause some good moves. Now, when it comes to Tesla, guys, I want to talk about this right here. I know this is a little bit trivial, and that is the fact that the SEC has a new proposition that's going to be Rule 10C-1. And what this basically does, guys, is it makes it a lot more difficult for lenders to lend out shares in a less transparent manner. They have to be a lot more strict when it comes to what shares are being lent out, what are the ticker symbols, and all the information like that. So when it comes to stocks that you could argue are being manipulated right now, it's going to be much harder if this were to pass. So I do want to note this and at least shine some light on this, that the SEC is kind of working to limit the amount of, how should I say, malarkey that's going on in the markets. I'm not going to say that they're perfect or that I could guarantee this is going to have a good result, but this is a pretty significant piece of proposition that's coming out for them that can affect Tesla as well, meaning it may not drop as hard because of this. Now, what I think is going to play out for the future, and like I told you guys, I have it in this calendar. So for this day, I was kind of close. I wouldn't say I was right. It was pretty sideways, more in the red today, so this should have been a little bit more red. I do think we're going to have another red day for tomorrow, and I want to prepare you guys for that because many key indicators are basically showing that. So let's look at the chart right here in a little bit more detail. So we had that inverse head and shoulders, which was supposed to be forming, and I do think that the reversal is going to most likely come starting when we have the earnings or maybe the days after. I do think that that's what's going to play out. I could be totally wrong, by the way, but look at the RSI, guys. Totally oversold for Tesla at 37.33. The MACD still flipped with the 9-day moving average, showing this drop towards the very end, and this is continuing on this downward trend just like this. Now, supported 851, I do believe it's going to hold up for tomorrow, guys. I do think it's going to hold up. It does depend on what the SEC reports, and I do think that this should hold up pretty well. Now, we are kind of treating the 9-day moving average as resistance, which means that right now that's an indicator that we could see a reversal to the downside. So it is looking a little bit more bearish than bullish for tomorrow. We should still close a little bit above 900 in my opinion. But remember, guys, we do have the earnings report coming out, and we do have some big things coming out involving that. So according to this article right here, guys, Tesla's Cybertruck arrives at Giga Texas ahead of the product roadmap. Once again, guys, Elon Musk has something very cool in store in my opinion, and I do think that he could announce something that could definitely affect the market and Tesla as a whole. According to this right here on Yahoo Finance, guys, we have 120 earnings reports coming out on January 26th and 121 on the 27th. So a lot of earnings reports are coming out that could definitely, in my opinion, it's a possibility that they're going to cause the market to rebound by then. And that's what I think is going to happen to Tesla starting on Thursday. That's when we should see the rebound. And I do think Elon Musk has some very big updates coming out, guys. I can't wait. So you guys need to be looking at the Tesla Roadster. We do have some updates for those. We have the Cybertruck. We're going to have a lot of updates involving the Tesla Gigafactory and maybe even the Tesla Berlin Gigafactory, not just the Texas one. I think it's going to be very awesome. So with that said, let me just end with one tweet from Elon Musk, and he basically retweeted retweeted this, where it states that graffiti art at the gig of Berlin. Once again, it looks pretty cool in my opinion, and I can't wait for what the future holds because they're getting closer and closer and closer. So to end this video, guys, I want to remind you guys, don't be too scared right now. My intention is not to give you financial advice. It is to simply educate you and prepare you for what may end up coming for the future. Now, you get to choose whatever you want to do based off this. If you want to buy calls or puts, or if you want to buy shares, if you want to buy the dip, it's up to you. It's your money. Do whatever you guys want. But I told you guys what I think is going to play out. I do think we're going to see a red day tomorrow. And I'm not scared, though. I'm not afraid whatsoever because we do know that the Fed has to be a lot more hawkish because of these new changes that are coming out, as Powell and Brainard have stated in the past. Now, don't be too worried, guys. Don't be too scared. Don't be afraid of red, guys. Tesla may continue on this, downward fall, but eventually it's going to recover for the long run. Remember that. The long run is what matters most. Eventually, their fundamentals are really going to show it. They're really going to show how valuable they are, and we're going to see a big bounce for the market in the future. Now, I thank you all for listening, guys. Don't be too scared, guys. Don't be too worried. Remain calm, cool, and collected, and don't let your emotions get the best of you. Tesla will recover, guys. It's a very great company. It's not the end, so remain calm, cool, and collected. I thank you, and peace out.